Okay, good day everyone, and massive welcome to our Challenge Cup 1v1. I am your host, Z, and I'm absolutely thrilled to see you all tuning in for today's high-stakes action. Whether you're here for mechanical outlays or just see who truly rules the land of Dawn, you are in for a treat. Today is about the raw skill, no teammates to rely on. You and just your opponent in a test of pure nerves and hero mastery. We're looking for that one player who will stand alone as the champion of Challengers Cup and take home the crown. But first, let's break down on how we're crowning today our champion. In the Challengers Cup, there's no lanes to rotate to and no teammates to save you. It's a straight up duel. For the game format, all games will be hosted in a tournament lobby where all heroes and skins are available for use. Each participant may ban one hero per game during the drafting phase. And here for the finals, we have best of 7 match up. For the winning condition, the participant secures a total of 3 kills or destroys their opponent's outer middle lane turret. But before that, I have a special announcement for our viewers. Throughout the stream, we will be dropping exclusive codes on screen. So if you see one, make sure to grab it quickly. So when the code drops, guess the code and claim their live stream rewards. Instruction how to claim the code is sent and pinned in the chat. So are you ready for the finals? Let's get it started. To our casters, Hockey and Synth, take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hockey. I'm your favorite Discord caster here, and today I'm joined by one of the best, the one and only coach of EU, Sins himself on my left side right here.
Thank
Hello,
you.
Sins.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. And for the people who don't know me, I'm a caster from Surge. I'm also a coach, a previous professional player, and I'm looking forward to this. I mean, you guys been hyping it up. I'm hyped. I'm hyped because I've been hearing a lot of great
we are
stories
hyped.
about
Come
these two
on.
players. So we're looking forward to this. I mean, wow, I'm in for a treat. And this is the first time actually I cast SEA region, so I want to see the gameplay. I'm critical. For the people who know me, they know I'm critical about the gameplay. If it's a mistake, I'm gonna say it like it is. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to see some great gameplay and hopefully enjoy just as much as you guys.
I can tell you there's a lot of hype coming through this, and I know the sea region pretty well, and it's pretty rough. It's a brawl, it's a fight, it's something you worth hyping up for, and it's something that we are about to witness as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to get into the first game of the sea region finals 1v1 Challenger Cup. I am so excited, and there we are, since for the first game. How do you feel
Yeah,
about this?
I feel great. So I want to see the bans. Okay, Guinevere. So you want to ban out the strong 1v1s. Guinevere comes to mind.
Yep.
And what else? I'm thinking more like Lunox as well. But if we look at
Well,
the top three heroes, thank you so much. And you see, okay, we start seeing Ixia. I wonder why we see these marksmen. Maybe because of that late game potential. But I want to see some more early game. I want to see a little bit more
you
fighter.
see
That's
that.
more like it. Sora is strong.
You
Yeah.
see that there.
Mm,
Right there, you see the Freya, you see the Samus, you see the Lapu Lapu. The Freya
mm,
could count here as a really good early game. Samus is kind of questionable. Lapu, he got really good poke up until that level 4,
yeah.
gets the Bravest Fighter, becomes as early as possible. So this is
Mm,
quite an interesting matchup. We have someone who dominates in the early game against someone who dominates in the early game, in the late game, I
mm,
mean. And it depends on whoever positions themselves right and manages to either rush or delay the game, could win.
mm. Yeah, that's one of the things. And another thing is, if you know your opponent is playing that marksman, for example, why not pick a Hayabusa? They're gonna go maybe Paquito. Looking at Bane, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure about this. Yuzong is more like it, maybe more mobile. Freya is incredible.
Ooh.
I love Freya. I love Freya
I
because just how strong it is, hockey.
I know. You keep in mind Freya is his weakest pick, but here against a marksman matchup, I think it might be pretty good.
Mm, absolutely. Now, you see that Freya, what are you thinking? Are you gonna match it with a fighter? You can go marksman, but which marksman do you go? Because it's not really optional.
Ooh,
Ooh, the mean sitar. Okay.
so that's
Okay, that
a
is a
kind of a
counter.
counter. Yeah, that is
Kind
a
of a
counter.
counter, yeah. But
You
it's
do
it's
cancel, you do
I mean
cancel
you
most of her
like yeah,
skills, but the thing is, the King's Calling coming in from Mincetar. It depends on the battle spell. I'm not sure about the Vengeance here. If you're playing against Mincetar, you want to get out as soon as possible. I think a sprint would be optimal. What do you think?
Mm. I mean, it could be. Maybe you would even want to go for a purify just because you want, when that hook comes in, you don't really want to be hooked. You want to have that mobility. You want to move around the map and try to surprise them in start. Now, I think in this situation, both heroes should want to surprise. It doesn't serve like Mincitar well just to go out and try to face Freya head on. So I'm looking for more bush gameplay. And on Freya's
Yeah.
side, you want to bait that ultimate. Like you said, that King's Calling can be dangerous because it does limit your mobility. But now into it. Let's go, Hockey. First game.
Yep,
First game
there
of
it
the best of
is,
seven.
first game, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm quite excited for this. We have Season
Mm,
against the one and only Watson, and these are the two strongest people right now we have in the C region in terms of the 1v1 here. Let's see, we have a Freya, we have a Mincetar, a counter pick, but once again, it comes down to the macro and the micro of the player itself, and let's get straight into it, and I think the game crashed.
yeah. It's all good. I want to take this
Alright.
time to give a shout out. We gotta give a shout out to Z because what was that introduction? It was like we were getting ready for that M8. But
Yeah?
so thank you, Z. And now it's really interesting. I want to take the time to really analyze this. Both players deciding to go mid. I mean, why not go XP? Why not go gold? I'm not too proficient about this 1v1, especially in this field, but maybe would do you more better because they're freezing each other regardless. So I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I understand the mid wave is coming in faster, of course, but maybe it would do more favors to pick a side lane. Who
Keep in
should do
mind,
that? I think Freya, because Freya is more mobile.
that is true. Keep in mind, once again, the rules are you can go anywhere on the map. You can jungle, you can do anything. The only win condition you have is either 3 kills or the outer mid lane turret. Even if you end by base,
Mm,
that does not count as a win. Remember that.
mm,
And so I kind of get the idea of being too cautious around the mid lane. You don't want to lose too much even when you have the tower gold, right? But in your case, what you said, you are kind of right. You playing a Freya here. I think it's more optimal to just go around the map freely. I mean, you already see a Freya that's almost level 4 here, ahead of the main star in terms of having a crab and a little wanderer. But
mm.
there it is. We have the Valkyrie's Descent already active before the King's Calling, but he's got to receive on two minions. And this is at the
Yeah,
stage of the game where it's kind of hard to fight.
yeah. Not only that, I mean, the Freya is wasting no time. You see her go to that lift, then she's checking the jungle. Maybe she'll start to hit the jungle as well. I mean, she wants to farm. Misitar little bit more stale. Doesn't look like he wants to do too much moving. Maybe a little bit more afraid. And I understand him because I mean, Freya, if you get caught on the wrong side, she can do a lot of damage. She can bait that King's Calling, maybe even escape it, then to be a real threat and kill you next engage. So this is definitely, you need to be careful for both people. Mincetar looks like he wants to drag Freya into that tower. It's not gonna happen that easily though. I mean, this is the finals. These guys are the best, I guess, from the whole tournament. So they're not gonna make it so easily.
That is true. And keep in mind, if even if Mincetar gets caught on the wrong side, on the wrong bush, right, you still don't want to fight as a Mincetar knowing full well that your hero can't scale. Unlike the Freya, Freya can
Mm,
also scale, but
yeah,
when you're playing in a Trinity hero, such as Corrosion, Demon Hunter, and Golden Staff, I think it's better to wait
mm,
than to fight. Because even if you do fight a Freya now, you cannot guarantee a kill against that Vengeance in the early game. Makes her very tanky, apart from the shield that she gets from the first kill and the ultimate. So you could take a
yeah,
resource out, maybe something, but that does not guarantee you a kill. I think that's just gonna be resources taking from here and there, potentially even poked.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And hockey, I don't really.
Ooh.
Oh, there's a fight happening. A little bit of a poke, okay. But hockey, like you were saying, I mean, these players can actually go side lane. They can farm that side lane, but they look like they wanna keep that mid control. I don't really see a reason why though. They have that boost down to bottom from the or from top side. Sorry, from to get that top lane, maybe gold.
Yep.
So I don't really see a reason why they're so focused down mid lane, especially Freya, fast hero. Ooh, okay,
Almost.
got hooked,
Almost.
but I
The
mean, we
corrosion
gotta
coming
think
through.
about the thing is hockey. We gotta think about this late game. So what are these players building, and who has the upper advantage late game? It's not easy to say. I mean, they're both fighters running the 1v1 emblem. I guess Freya might go some damage, maybe some tank as well. You would do yourself a favor here if you build not full damage, because obviously you wanna do as much damage as possible, but you're not gonna kill them so easily. So you might as well build a tank because it's gonna be a prolonged fight. But who do you think have the advantage here late
Generally,
game,
I
Hockey?
do like the Mincetar more, not just because he's almost a counter, mainly because of how he builds generally into the game. A Trinity hero melts through fighters and tanks, right? We all know that, we've all
Hmm.
seen it several times, but also it depends on the itemization that comes from Frey. If he gets the Pauldron, for example, ooh, there it is a hook, but not a King's Calling yet. That's just a warning there. He probably knows the Vengeance is there and he doesn't have enough damage, because keep in mind, if we take a look at the itemization right now, they're both still on their first item, right? Not enough
Yeah, that
damage
is
from the Mincetar, and he's not gonna be able to burst her down. So I'm
yeah.
guessing Mincetar in terms of itemization has the advantage, but it depends on if the Frey builds Pauldron or goes semi tank here, could have the upper advantage in a prolonged fight.
Yeah, absolutely. But Freya gotta do herself a favor. She gotta move around the map more often, because obviously
Mhm.
she's much faster than Mincetar is ever gonna be. She has those dashes, so she gotta farm the jungle creeps a lot faster just to get a little bit of an advantage. So because that advantage will eventually build up, and that might be the difference maker. But we're seeing her move maybe too slow, maybe giving Mincetar a chance to come into the game really, and um, and yeah, maybe a little bit of nervous. Maybe both players are nervous because I don't
Mhm.
know. They seems like they want to play safe, but I understand though. Usually in a tournament hockey, when you cast
Yeah,
tournament first game, both teams, both players. I mean, everyone is usually nervous that first game because they want to feel out the enemy. What do they have to
exactly.
come with, and can we answer? So maybe that's what we're seeing here.
I mean, I generally think Freya should have done all the rotations pre level 5 when you still had the tower gold
Yeah.
up. It was not a threat, but now it's after minute 5, and keep in mind, if you just miss a single second, that tower can fall, especially from a Mincetar, one of the fighters that can actually push really quickly, right? So
Yeah.
he's quite both of them are really good pushers, by the way, and they can melt down a tower if left unattended for a few seconds. So you gotta watch out here. There's some poke damage coming from Mincetar, knowing he has the range. Almost gets the hook in there, and it's a pretty close range here coming in for Freya. But once again, I think the freeze is broken, and Freya might go for the crab. She's going for the crab rotation, and at the same time winning side lanes. So that is probably more than enough for her
Hmm.
to have the advantage she's looking for, I suppose.
Yeah, and also another thing that I just noticed, that flicker on that mean sitar is going to be really interesting because he can basically flicker, put down that King's Calling, and then hook
Yeah,
the enemy, and that will give mean sitar about three to 4 seconds free hit on Freya before she can even react, because she obviously cannot use the ultimate with that dash. So
mhm,
it's really interesting combinations here coming out from Minstar. Would I pick Minsitar? I'm not really sure. I like Lunox in this 1v1. I've been playing a lot of 1v1, maybe, obviously not the tournaments or anything, but I've been playing against good players, and Lunox really works because he has that heal, he also has that poke, and it's extremely strong for late game. So I like Lunox, but
Oi!
but who am I? Look at this though. Hockey,
The
take it
King's
away. What is
calling.
happening right
King's calling under
now?
tower straight away, but not much happens of half HP taken down. Not even a vengeance have been procced. And like I said, if Mincetar doesn't have the Trinity he's looking for, if he doesn't have the anti-heal and the Demon Hunter and the Golden Staff, he's not gonna pull out the damage he's looking for. And we've seen an example of it, ladies and gentlemen. There it is, the Sea Halberd, the anti-heal coming through, and
Mm.
I think he might look for an engage next time. He does have the King's Calling, but Freya kind of pushing, like she's kind of forcing a little bit of hit there. You're going under the tower, getting a hit or two. I think that's probably his strategy to, try to win. Just get it as low as possible. even if Minotaur is present, even when you know that he doesn't have the damage to burst you down, you can still push
Yeah.
as long as you don't hit him. So,
Absolutely. I mean, you can push, but the thing is this, Hockey. You don't
ooh,
want to push too much. You might fall into something like this. This is not. This is dangerous right here. I
it
mean, all
is.
of this damage is racking up. Hockey. I have a big belief now. When you were saying, "Oh, Mincetar don't have that Trinity," I wonder with that Trinity damage, that might be a big mistake coming out from Freya. A big misposition. That's a kill right
Yeah.
there for Mincetar if he has those items.
But you gotta give it to Freya here. He is aware of the itemization. He knows, right? It's like he knows the hero against him, what he does when he pulls out the damage. So even though it looks like misposition, and I do kind of agree that at the same time, maybe he does understand what he's playing against, right? And it's
Hmm.
pretty
Yeah.
interesting. Now we've seen Mincetar recalling here. Maybe he has to defend the side or recover some mana. Meanwhile, Freya here missing a few HP, and the King Calling is up here from Mincetar. I think he might try to go for another. Never mind, Freya's taking a safe route now. He probably knows that it's not so safe to do that move anymore.
Yeah, I mean, also another thing that I was just thinking about is, like Z said in the introduction, this is a 1v1. So the raw skill and the raw just talent comes into play because you can
Mhm.
instantly recognize the play style of them both players. Because normally when you play a 5v5, you might play a, let's say, a mage. I mean, you're
Yep.
using your own kind of positioning, but not fully because you gotta focus, you gotta play around the tank, you gotta play around the jungle. So you're not
Hmm.
doing everything that you want to do. Now, this is a 1v1. So every move that these players are making, this is a move that they
Oi!
want to make. So we're seeing some fights here.
Oi!
Under turret, Freya,
Under third
you're under
vengeance!
turret right now.
But
Wow.
he survived. The shield, the vengeance coming through, and the Valkyrie's descent to get out just in time and does heal up. There it is onto the Minotaur, knowing he doesn't have the King's Call and gets the damage he needs. And I think this might be game. Hold on. He is going for it.
Wait,
He's going for it.
this is gonna be game.
This
He's
is
going for
game.
it. Oh my.
This is game. This is game number one. Goes to Freya. He just got the mid lane turret, and that is the first game to
Wow.
Watson, ladies and gentlemen. Like I
Wow,
said,
that's a really I mean, how can I say, small detail, but made a big difference because this wasn't a push just happening all at once. This was a few pushes and eventually racking up to the win. And
yep.
um, and wow, I mean, to begin with, I didn't expect Freya to finish that quick because I said maybe Mincetar would, have the potential to just sit inside the
Mhm.
tower, just clear, don't have to do too much. But then I started seeing some push, and I said maybe it's an overextension from Freya because it looks like when that King's Calling is coming down, look a little
Yep.
bit too risky. But Freya is smart
Yeah.
though, because once she sees that King's Calling, she said, let me use this lifesteal, get back my lifesteal. With this mini wave, I'm just gonna push." And Freya
Yep.
is a fast pusher. You cannot underestimate that pusher. So wow, first game, Freya,
I think
great surprise here.
that is true. And we can see a little bit from the itemization here before we switch to us. The Pauldron was coming through, and the Magic Defense boots coming from Minotaur wasn't really the best option. I mean, you don't need Magic Defense against Freya. Obviously, Freya doesn't pull out any Magic Defense, so that's one of the few mistakes that would cost you a game, obviously, right? And
Yeah.
apart from that, I think he might learn into next game. Like he said, it's the first game. The players are just feeling themselves out, seeing how the other person plays and reacts, and this and this, and eventually it's gonna change into a whole different dynamic into the second game.
Yeah, but the thing is, now you're wondering, is Freya gonna be banned? Because I mean, when I was looking at this 1v1 and I was thinking, what's the draft potential? A few heroes hit my mind, but then I just remembered once I seen that Freya being picked. Hockey, we just forgot about the most common, one of the best 1v1 heroes in the game. Obviously, it's Freya.
Yeah.
So I just got reminded. So maybe now it should be banned. I mean, maybe.
Maybe, maybe not. I think she should be banned because Freya gets banned usually. She dives towers. That's what she is known for.
Hmm.
But let's see into the game number two. Maybe she might get banned. Maybe not. We'll see that after the break for game number two, ladies and gentlemen. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hockey once again, and I'm joined by the one and only on this side, the man himself, since for game number two.
What's going on?
Hello.
Hello, and like we said, we've been taking a break, but I mean, this first game. What can we say, hockey? Amazing, right? We saw
Eh,
what Sonishi win that. Sorry, I had it written down because it's a hard pronunciation. But what Sonishi won that first game with that Freya, and we see, I was reading the chat and I see some people confused about the rules. So maybe you can make it more clarified about what is the rules and how do you win.
almost no rules, okay? You can do anything on the
Mm.
map, you can play wherever you want. It's just you have two win conditions, and only these two win conditions. You can jungle, you can do this, you can do that, you can push this, you can push that, but the only way to win is you either get 3 kills or push the outer mid lane turret. That's the only win condition. If you push via a base, if you end the base, that does not count. It will count as an invalid match, and we will replay that match.
Okay,
So
so basically just pushing that mid lane and getting that tower is sufficient for a win, but also those 3 kills, right? So
mhm.
so that's what we're gonna look at. And you can farm in other lanes. But now let's get into the second game. Enough about the talking. Now, what can we see? The draft. The Freya is banned.
There it
We were
is.
predicting that Freya banned. There it is. Now I'm wondering what's gonna come out from the side of C June, or sorry, what Sonishi. Sorry, it's hard with these names. I mean, they don't have their real names in games. So we see that
Yeah.
Guinevere ban again. Now we saw from the first game that obviously Sejun likes to go with those marksmen. Now it's risky to pick a marksman when you're the first because at that point you can go up against anything, any assassin.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go marksman here. Maybe you would need to go somewhere along the lines of Tamus. I like the Tamus that I saw, in the most picked from first game, and Tamus is an option. I like Lunox. I mean, people are gonna say, "Why do you pick Lunox in 1v1?" Trust me, it's much better than people expect. Now, other than that, hmm, Minsit are still open if you want to try again, but I really have no clue.
I think
Mm,
he's going with his most picked hero, and it's the
mm,
Melissa. I mean, if you're
okay,
first pick and you have nothing to pick, I think it's the best option to pick the most comfort pick, right? If you don't get a comfort
absolutely.
pick and you play something you don't play, it's gonna be a messy play style. So I prefer comfort pick on the first pick than anything else.
Absolutely, hockey. I mean, what you're saying makes total sense, but that's not if your comfort pick is an ADC, because at that point I say you
Yeah,
have to wait with the marksman, regardless. Even in tournaments, in big stage tournaments, 5v5, you never go with the marksman first, even if your comfort is a Harry, for example, who is in meta, because you can easily get countered. Now they seen the Melissa. Ooh, that Minsitar. Is that Minsitar gonna come out? Watsunishi maybe taking some advice from Sijon. Ooh, Bane. I like Bane though. Bane is a strong pick, especially in 1v1. Ooh, Lapu. But ooh, I mean, okay.
it's a
So we did see a fight. So we did see a fighter first and foremost. Looks like Watsunishi. We seen that Freya from the first game. So Watsunishi really likes those fighters. And on the other side, Melissa is a risky pick. It's extremely risky because it's squishy. And if you can't get the right, how can I say, positioning, you'll be done for. Now, one
yeah.
good thing that I can say, hockey, about Melissa is obviously has extreme range. He also has, good clear, but is that gonna be enough though? Let's go,
Let's
Lapu
go
Lapu
straight
against Melissa, hockey. I mean, let's go straight
straight into
into it.
number.
Second game
Yeah. Second game, ladies
on
and
the line,
gentlemen, I'm
guys.
quite hyped for this. And Lapu Lapu against the Melissa. You are right here. She does have extreme range here against the Lapu Lapu, but once again, keep in mind, Lapu Lapu has a little bit of range. He has a little bit of sustain as well. I think that's more than enough for him to at least try to, last hit the minions until you get the bravest fighter going on. Apart from that, it's going to be pretty interesting because we're seeing two people right now on their best picks, the Melissa and the Lapu Lapu. Generally, in a normal game, Melissa is usually the one that's not optimal in a game like this. But in a 1v1 situation, things change. Things change very
Mm.
much, and you're playing without a worry of a gank. So that's why we've seen the comfort picks coming through. We can see what these guys can do on their main heroes in that event at least. And so far it's been safe, but once again we've seen Watson same rotation last game. He's going for the crab rotation.
Mm.
Just take the
Yeah.
crab, comes back, takes another crab, comes back, and it kind
Yeah,
of works.
that's really what gave him the advantage in that first game. You know, as Freya is much more mobile. I would want to see even more, even as much as he jungled. I would want to say even more. But now maybe with Lapu we're gonna see it, right? It's strong. It moves around the map fast. But let's be honest though, that Melissa scale, if it goes to late game around 10-minute mark, around 11-minute mark, it's really dangerous here for Lapu because regardless if you may have some damage, just the wind of nature alone gives Melissa an option that she can free hit you, and it's really dangerous with the late game against really all marksmen have a quite a good scale. Now I'm wondering to see how is Lapu gonna adjust. Maybe that blade armor is gonna come out for a later stage. Of course, early game you want to build damage. You want to clear fast. You want to farm fast. So you definitely should not pick a tanky item first. But maybe later on we're gonna see that blade armor.
Yeah, that is true. We're definitely gonna see some defense, but I think penetration is prioritized in the early game for both heroes, regardless, right? And then utility items depend on the core item as well. And we see a lot of poke here coming in from Melissa. That shows that even though if you're ahead in levels in the early game, you still can't really dive a marksman that is playing safe on their tower here. Especially a Melissa that just has to go away and can just push you and shield up at the same time.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
what's the plan?
And I'm gonna
What's the
follow up on that. I, that's a good question. What is the plan? The plan for Lapu, the best thing that Lapu can do is just to farm. You gotta move around fast, and you gotta just get these jungle monsters. Now for Melissa, it serves you great to really make the game longer. Now, like you said, I mean, we're gonna see a little bit of a slower game, even slower, I think, than the last game. This is because the objective here is clear for both players.
Mhm.
Melissa wanna play that late game. Lapu wanna farm, wanna move around the map and maybe get farm and eventually try to kill Melissa before that late game. So, but again, like you said, I mean, Melissa is playing under turret, and it's really hard to kill a marksman under turret. Like, forget about the 1v1, but normally, even if it's a
Yeah.
1v3 getting ganked in a 5v5 situation, the tower is there and you have a good player. So
Mhm.
I'm, I don't know how this is going to end up.
It's gonna we're gonna have to see Aleppo catching the Melissa off guard. Apart from that, I don't think there's a way for him. And there it is, trying to go into the passive. There it is, a go away, activate Landshaker, still going for more. But even though when he activates the Barrier of his fighter, he can't really engage in with a Raging Slash. Yeah, it's a bit too much of a risk, and you're gonna waste a resource doing that. So
Mm,
you know, game is gonna stretch. Yeah, both of them are gonna benefit, but overall, we've known the usual rule of MLBB: the marksman will outscale anything in the game and eventually be too hard to handle. So this is something you gotta watch out about for Lapo here, especially for Lapo. I think what he's doing here is kind
yeah.
of right. You just poke them down so you can then have the opportunity to kill, right? And I think he's looking for that. He's
Yeah.
kind of a bit too deep,
Oh, but Melissa's
looking for
inspired. Melissa's inspired though. Melissa does have
doesn't.
have inspired, so it doesn't use it, but it's still
Mhm.
dangerous. I mean, Lapu can't just do that in later stage. I mean, right now he can, but later on, gonna be costly in terms of HP because Melissa's starting to
Yeah,
deal a little bit of damage now. Now, I was saying something previously that I gotta go back on. I was saying how Melissa has a decent clear, but actually not really, because we see that Lapu Lapu has gone into the tower multiple times. I mean, the gold on the tower is half, right? So maybe, and look at this when she clear, it takes a little bit of time. So not really a good clear, as good as I
Oi!
believe. But look at this, look at the land checker coming in though. Hawky, take it.
Oi! The first blood line checker on the first blood under tower, the flicker. What a kill coming in from the
What's the kill?
Mincetar. What?
What the heck happened? You know what's interesting right there, Hockey, is when I seen that Lapu use that land shaker, really investing himself into the fight. I said, maybe this is too early. Maybe it's not the
Yeah,
time right now. But the damage, where did that damage come from? What's that item? He built that war axe. I can see
I think
first item. And look at this. He's going for the finish. He's going
he's
for the
going.
finish. No
Is
way.
that
No
another?
way. He's gonna finish this.
game. He's gonna finish. He's gonna finish. Hockey, goodbye. He's
No,
gonna finish.
no, no! So close, so close, so close.
No, 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 no way,
Yeah,
Jose. But
let's
listen
take
to
a look
this,
at the
Hockey. Listen
items,
to this.
items, items,
But
items
Hockey,
before you
Hockey,
end it.
listen to this. Is Melissa gonna finish? Is
Yes,
Melissa gonna
she
finish?
will, she
Melissa's gonna
will.
finish.
That
She's
is
gonna finish,
game.
Hockey.
That is just game.
She's gonna finish. She'll
Oh
finish the
my
game.
god.
She'll finish the game. No way. No way. No way. No way.
Just go for
No
the end.
way.
One. This is a one
No
HP,
way.
a one HP tower, a one HP tower from Lapo, and then that
I
happened.
can't believe it. I can't believe it. This is unbelievable scene. This is unbelievable scenes. The hype here is like an M8 or
That
M7. I don't know what's going on because what happened there. I mean, Hockey. We gotta break it down. So we did see the land shaker, right? He did kill that Melissa, and then he just kept pushing. He just kept pushing. We said, when is this gonna stop? He's gonna try to finish, and Melissa
I
comes
think.
back. I mean,
Mhm.
wow.
Here's the thing. I think the biggest mistake he did is activating that bravest fighter and leaving the tower. Because after that, when the minion died, he didn't even keep attacking the tower. He kept attacking Melissa. Keep that in mind. And that's probably one of the reasons he couldn't end. And that is pretty unfortunate here from the Lapu Lapu and then the comeback coming from Melissa. What a game! That was just so close. One hit away. One hit away, since I'm telling you, one hit away. Do you know how that feels devastating from the Lapu
Yeah,
Lapu side?
that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And not only that, Hockey. You know when Melissa killed Lapu, you said, "Let me get the items." But I was looking at the game. I said, "Maybe it's gonna finish." It's impossible. It's gonna finish. It's
It-
crazy. But
it's a
like
game.
I don't know. Was that a miss? So would you say that Lapu miscalculated, or what was it just unlucky? Can we say it was unlucky? Because I mean, 1 HP. I mean, you can't know that. Like, how would you know? How would you know?
I mean, it could be miscalculation because once again, he was hitting the tower and stopped hitting the tower. You see, he did activate the bravest fighter, and then the minion died when Melissa arrived, and he kept attacking Melissa, like I said, not attacking the tower. He did like a basic attack or two on Melissa. So that might be a mistake, in terms of like that might be a mistake here from the Lapu, and unfortunately, in a 1v1, mistakes just as little as these can cost you an
Hmm.
entire game, no matter how close is it. And we've
And
seen,
especially,
yeah, we've
yeah,
seen
and
it here.
especially hockey, like you said, like not only is it obviously a tournament, but these are the finalists, so obviously they have some experience. But the thing is, I'm still going back to that situation. I mean, wow, like we thought that Lapu was gonna finish there, and then
Yeah,
all of a sudden, I, I don't know what happened. Anything like, let's say if Lapu had just one more item or any other damage item, he would have finished that base because that difference was extremely small. But then I saw just that the Melissa just pushing. He didn't care. He just kept pushing after killing Lapweb and finished that game. I mean, if you are these players now, you're feeling the tension on the highest scale because you want to win those diamonds. Let's not forget the price. The price is
yeah.
diamonds, guys. Next time, you guys got to sign up because it's diamonds on the line. These guys are not playing for free.
Yeah, that is true. Just stuff on the line here, diamonds, you gotta go get them, right? But in a game just as important as this, in the finals, even the littlest of mistakes can turn into like eclipse like these, right? And like I said, the Lapu Lapu probably feels devastated, but keep in mind, you cannot get that mindset of being devastated to the next game. You're supposed to enter next
Yeah.
game fresh, so it also comes here to the mindset of the Lapu Lapu as well. He gotta keep his
Mm,
performance up. He was playing really good up until that small mistake, but apart from that, that mistake should
mm.
not affect his next game, hopefully.
And the thing is, I don't even know if the situation was a mistake because if I think about it, he did everything that he was supposed to do. He tried to get that fight to Melissa without that late game, before that late game, because
Hmm.
at that point it would be too late. But I see him try to take the fight to Melissa, poking a little bit and then trying to finish. I think it's the right idea. Is it the wrong moment? I don't know. I can't say because one hit at that small margin. I mean, he could have that could be such a detail. Like he could have finished, but he needed to run into the base a lot sooner or hit the base a lot faster. Or so at that margin, it's really hard to say what can be better, or how we just unveiled to later on seeing the Melissa win. But like you
Yeah,
said, one thing that we can't take away though, the game's getting exciting. 1-1.
it is.
I'm looking forward to second game.
It
Our
is
third
getting
game. Sorry.
excited. it, it's just insane. But you know what? I want to see your mind into game number three, right? We are gonna go into a waiting time, but keep in mind, game number three, this is where the tension breaks finally, right? And this is where
Mm.
things are gonna get chaotic. So we are gonna see you into game number three, ladies and gentlemen. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, into game number three. And game number two was quite devastating here for the Lapu Lapu. 1 HP, and then he just misses that one basic attack. And unfortunately, a comeback happens on him. Well played to the Melissa here. Well played to Sejun. But now, Watson and Sejun once again into game number three, ladies and gentlemen. And let's
Mm.
see how this game is going to turn out. What's your opinion on this, Synth?
I mean, looking at it, we've seen a lot of crazy things in a small amount of time, right? I'm not really used to the format of 1v1, and it really shows, you know, the raw skill of the
Yeah.
players. I mean, they're extremely good. Small mistake make a big cost. Now, what am I seeing? I'm still wondering to myself who looks more experienced, because I'm trying to look at this from an objective point of view. Who does the more plays, who's more experienced, and who looks more sharp. Right now, it's hard to say. It's hard to say hockey, because we've been seeing great things from both, really both players, and that's it. Honestly, it's exciting. It's just
It
exciting.
is. It is. and I'm quite hyped here as we go into game number 3. We are ready, ladies and gentlemen, and what's gonna be the ban now? I mean, I'm guessing it's gonna be Freya as always because once again we've seen the Freya. She's one of the strongest 1v1 heroes. But now that the players have felt each other out on the main heroes, on the sub heroes on the first
Mm.
game,
I'll
are we
tell
gonna
you.
see? Hmm.
I'll tell you right here, the Guinevere and the Freya, it's not gonna be no different.
All right,
So
that's true.
Guinevere is banned, can confirm. Freya must be banned. No questions asked, right? Now I wanna see. You went Watsunishi, you went with that Lapu Lapu last game, but you don't really. I mean, are you gonna risk it again? Are you gonna go that Lapu Lapu? Maybe Siege locks in that Melissa can be dangerous. I'm expecting a Melissa actually from Siege without knowing what Watsunishi plays because it's one game.
Oh,
Ooh, we did see that Lapu Lapu. Is it gonna be a rerun?
wait, are we gonna see the same game? I mean, I think he probably has a better marksman for Lapu Lapu. Melissa is not that bad, by the way. Keep that in mind. She still works just as fine, but I think he might have a secret pick, especially against the Lapu Lapu. I mean, come on, you made it all the way to the final. You probably have a marksman for every situation, the 1v1, right? So
That's true.
maybe, maybe he might have something up his sleeve, or we might see a Melissa again, and this time play it differently. Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh,
The Direth. Okay.
what?
Now that is surprising.
I mean,
That is extremely surprising. What do you think of that?
that's really really interesting. I mean, honestly, Dyref against Lapu, hard to say. But Dyref, I know is one of the strongest 1v1ers in in any lane. So it's strong. But how does Lapu fetch up against it? I think Dyref wins hard early game, but later on maybe Lapu will actually win. Now we did see that spell change, Hockey. I want to keep your eyes peeled on that Lapu spell
Yeah, I
change.
saw
Went from
that.
Aegis, first Flicker, then Aegis, then Revitalize. Um, okay, so I don't know how that's gonna come into play, but I'm looking forward to this game. Hockey,
I'm
take
quite
it away.
excited
Third
here for
game.
game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hawk, and I'm joined by the one and only Sent here. And for the Revitalize, on the Lapu Lapu here, against Dart, we have what against Season, but I think he's gonna make use of that in the early game, right? Because you don't have anti-heal. In the early game, of course, you're gonna try to build a core item or a penetration, so he's probably gonna make as much use of anything that heals, especially against the Dire, because once you're taken down to half HP, you have nothing to do but sit under tower. And,
Mm.
that's not optimal. That's not quite optimal. Look at
I
this
want to
level
see
getting
that
level
Dyrov
2.
take. I want to see Dyrov take a lot more fights, Hockey, because Dyrov is good in that brawl fight, in that trading, but seems a little bit scared at some points. Now I'm looking forward to this. We see jungling. We see jungling from Dyrov. This is new. Sejon hasn't gone for that blue before. But meanwhile, Lapu seems stale. Is he gonna wonder? Should I check that blue? Because if he does check that blue, that's gonna be a fight.
I think,
I'm
the
wondering
thing
when.
is, Darth is one of the
Hmm,
strongest heroes that can actually clear. I think alongside Popol and Koopa without a red tree, right? So he can go for that jungle. He can just take whatever he wants around him because he is fast enough. And plus the buff that came in, Darth getting more energy over time, I think that helps him more than enough alongside the shield break, the armor break coming in from Darth as well.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, and
ooh.
you were definitely not under exaggerating when you said Dairoth is extremely strong in that jungle without a retribution. Still clears pretty quick. But they're both fighting now. Now I want to keep your mind. Look at that level on Dairoth. Dairoth just got level 4. This is dangerous territory for Lapu because obviously you don't have that land shaker. You gotta move, Lapu. You gotta move because wait, this is a little bit funny though. Nobody's moving. What's happening? I said maybe you gotta move. They're just
I
staring each
think
other
they're
down
just
into oblivion.
Yeah, they just chill in here. I mean, if Darth dashes, Lapu's gonna dash away and bait him probably. But apart from that, I think we might see something here on the Little Wander. Never mind, it
So
reset. We're
look,
looking for
this
something. There it is.
so Dyrut is smart though. He don't really want to waste his stacks on just hitting the skill onto the lift. He wants to do it on Lapu. Now the wave has gone up. I like this gameplay from Sejun coming out because I see that jungling is a lot more prevalent. It's a lot more active now with this
Yeah,
Dyrut. A lot more confident, you would have to say. wasn't the same gameplay when we seen with that Minsitar and that Melissa. To be fair, Melissa is a passive hero, can't really expect too much, but now we're seeing with Dyrov. But I want to see. Looks like Watonishi also goes for that top gold crab. And this is a blue for a top gold crab. In my favor, honestly, hockey, I prefer the blue.
Yeah, same. You know, the cooldown reduction coming in from blue helps really well in the early game as well. And I think we might see a Brawl here. I mean, he did use his dash. There it is. The armor break coming in from Dart, but I think they're gonna play it safe. I think they're waiting. They're waiting for that itemization to come through, right? That anti-heal to come through, that antique to come through as well for the Lapu. I mean, like you said, I want to see the tires in the early game active. You said that, and so do I
Yeah.
as well. And there it is, the bravest fighter activated, looking for something
Oh,
Landshaker coming through, but he's not gonna go for that. None of them are committing to that. Ooh, a lot of
mm.
damage coming in. Bravest fighter, but Abysm
I
Strike
mean,
missed,
the
unfortunately.
thing is, we we have to keep in mind. I mean, a lot of Dairet's compatibility does depend on that prolonged fight. He does wonders when that lost HP because that ultimate takes that into account, right? So
Mhm.
so you can't really deal too much damage. You gotta be careful because Dyrov can really execute with that ultimate. But look at this though. Lapu's still, still moving around, getting that gold crab. He doesn't stop now. Now I like this play from Dyrot, getting that red. Definitely you want to get as much buffs as possible. And we already said, right, that just how strong Dyrot is in jungle. No retribution needed, no season hunter needed. I mean, this goes pretty quick.
Yeah. Let's take a quick look here at the itemization. I think both of them are going for the War Axe and no sub penetration. If you take a quick look on the items here, but apart from that, the heart is still going for the jungle. You know, the little wanderer here offered to Lapu Lapu. Looking for a fight there. This brave fighter activated. Does have the raging slash. Does have the land shakers.
This is
Looking for
too early.
something.
This is too
It
early from
is.
Lapu. This is too early from Lapu.
Ooh, pretty
But it's still.
close. Abyssal
I
Strike
don't really
takes it down.
understand. I don't really understand why he used that abyssal strike because I get that he want to confirm the buff, but just engage on him. Just because he just used that land shaker and he doesn't have many hits left, maybe two or three. So definitely you should just enter that bush and try to commit to the fight. I would do at least, especially you have flicker still, and like you said, Harky, the life steal, the anti heal got to come into play, right? If you're,
Yeah.
I guess both players, you got to build that sea halberd, especially on direct. But look at this though, this is kind of dangerous territory. Both players just teasing each other.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Um, like I kind of understand why the Darth did not engage here in the blue buff, and yeah, you're kind of right. Lapu didn't have much hits left, but once again, you did say it. The anti-heal come through, and you know the revitalize is no joke. Like when you've definitely played like a Hylos or a Roamer, and you get a catcher right, and you play revitalize, that heals a lot. Now, say
Hmm.
take that on a hero that doesn't have as much HP as these guys, a Lapu Lapu, and that will probably heal him back to full HP, and it's not something you want to fight against, especially as a Darth. So that's they're playing around that Sea Halberd. I mean, you got the War Axe just to jungle faster, clear faster, and then they're going straight for either that penetration or that defense. And there it is. Look at this position coming through. They're looking for something, but I guess it's just a poke here and there. There's a damage armor break coming
Right,
through, and
but
looks like he might commit. Actually, will he? No, a lot of
he's
poke coming
testing.
in from
He's
Napo.
he's testing. I think he's testing to see the damage. Both players are testing because it looks like, from my perspective, that these guys are not really. How can I say? They're not really
Wee!
used to this team fight. Look at that damage.
God damn, that damage is a lot.
Damage.
That's a lot of damage. But here's the
But
thing.
Lapu is patient though, Hockey. Hockey, we gotta say Lapu is patient though. Still has the revitalize up,
Yeah.
right? But how is this
Yep.
team fight gonna end?
Hmm. Here's the thing. Right now, and I've always said this rule in a 1v1, your HP is just as important as your gold, right? If
Hmm.
you're trying to engage with a half HP, it's not gonna end well for you. You're supposed to save that HP, heal up, lifesteal somewhere, and try to take the fight. If you're poked and you're entering a fight, even if it's a little bit, it's not gonna end well for you, and you might lose on those, 1 HP situations. So I'm seeing a lot of poke coming in from both sides where it's not needed, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all those details come into play to make something bigger, and eventually, it's those kinds of things that makes the difference between who's gonna win and who might lose.
Yep.
Now, I want to talk more about this matchup because we're getting into a stage that is much longer than any previous game we've seen, right?
Mhm.
We already talked a little bit about the psychology. Which one of these are is better, and how do they feel? I mean, they're both looking sharp. Now, I want to say, Hockey, who do you have for late game? Dyrov or Lapu?
Honestly, I have to give it to Dirth. Like, if it's played well and he uses his mobility to dodge, he could have it. Right? It comes to the macro and the micro of the hero and the
Mm,
player itself as well, right? It comes to whether the player
mm.
understands how to play perfectly against his matchup. Same goes to Lapo. If he does manage to land most of the skills here, he could win the team fight. But Dyerth is known for continuous fighting, not just the Abyss of Strike, right? Even after the Abyss of Strike, you can see a Dyerth fighting over and over just because he stacks even in a team fight over time, and that makes him lethal. Lapo doesn't have that factor. He has once
Yeah, I
after the
mean,
Bravest Fighter is over, it's over for Lapo basically.
that is true, but at the same time, I mean, if you're Dyrov, you're basically just looking to execute him with that abyssal strike. If he never gives you an opportunity to, you can't. So it's got to come down to some kind of misplay or misposition from Lapu. If he doesn't really misposition, I mean, we could see a game for 15, 20 minutes. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Do I hope that the
Yeah.
game goes on for that long? Truly, no, because I want to see action. But if we're talking about what's the realm of possibility, it wouldn't surprise me.
Whee! Okay, Bravest Fighter, just to take that little wander though. Pretty interesting. I mean, you're not gonna have Trinana. I think that could be a chance for Darius to, engage, have some poke in here. But keep in mind, if we take a look at the itemization, if it's opened, we do have a Oracle second item coming in from the Lapo, I believe. Getting that
Yeah, that
Oracle
is true. And
just to enhance the revitalize.
so just to talk about the itemization, yeah, and just to talk about the itemization a little bit, like you said, first item for both players, War Axe, very reasonable, right? Then we see a little bit of shift. We see that Oracle coming in from Lapo, like you said, for that revitalize, does a lot of big difference. Now Hunter Strike coming in from Sejun, I mean, do I like it? It's good for
Mhm.
Lyrov, but at this stage, I want to see that Sea Halberd. You gotta be careful of the anti-heal. You also gotta be
Ooh,
careful of the anti-heal on the side of Lapu. You want to build Sea Halberd, so both players should build Sea Halberd. When? I think as soon as possible.
that
Maybe
is
even
true.
like this item. I can see from the
Yeah.
itemization though that I mean Dyrov is not really doing it, but when will he do it?
Wait, hold on. He's doing all the damage and there's his kill with a Bism Strike. What? Wait, he just pulled out all of
Look
damage
at
in an
this! Look at
instant.
this! What's happening? What?
It's just in an
What the
instant.
hell? I was I'm in game right now. I was looking at the items. I just checked the fight. I see something happening, and then I just see the 2K damage from nowhere. Hockey, the 2K.
Yeah,
Is he gonna
yeah,
finish? He will finish.
he will.
Sejan will
That is it.
finish.
That
Sejan
is
will
it.
finish.
That is good game. That is
That
game
is
number two. What?
absolutely crazy. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. That's game number three. The game number three ends in an execution.
I thought
Wow.
this was. I just like.
I
I
mean,
thought this was just a poke. He was poking him, but he just deleted him. He just deleted him since. What was that? He just
I
took him
don't
out like
know.
that.
I'm
You should look at.
I'm
We can
laughing
see from
because
the items.
I'm, I'm just so surprised. I'm just so surprised because there was no revitalize, there was no prolonged fight, the landshake or mobility. There was nothing going on. Bam! Just execution, abyssal strike. Goodbye. Go
Yeah.
home.
I mean, to be
I'm,
fair,
I'm,
I
I'm,
can
I'm,
I can kind of understand what happened. The lack of defense on the Lapu Lapu. He doesn't have proper defense against the Dire. He has only
oh,
region items, and that puts him in such a bad position in a team fight because the penetration coming
yeah.
in from the Dire actually just deletes any physical defense he has from or the Oracle or the boost itself. So you can kind of expect the damage when you don't have like at least the Dreadnought armor or even the antique itself as a
Mm,
full item. And it's pretty unfortunate here for the Lapu Lapu, but
yeah,
what was that? What was that? Like
but
just
I don't know.
2.1k. I think it was 2.1k
This
Abysmal
is
Strike.
this, but the thing is, it was leading up to. It was strange because we were seeing the fight. It was leading up like
Yeah.
slowly and surely. Okay, Dairov using this skill and Lapu, answering back. It was going back and forth, and then all of a sudden, Abyssal Strike comes up. Wow, goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Like
delete
like
like
like like he never existed. Yeah, but
I
but you know what's crazy? I was just thinking about Sijan in this tournament, in this finals, and both games that Sijan has won, like like unbelievable. Like the
yeah.
Melissa game, and then this
I don't think.
execution with Diref. I mean, what the?
Here's the thing. I don't think we're gonna have a normal game. We're not gonna have a normal game in this best of seven. It's all gonna be chaotic, like I said in the second and the first game. It's just gonna be chaotic. We're gonna see something abysmal, but at the same time, it works. It just works, and the game
Yeah,
just scales in a way we'll never see it. Right? It
yeah,
is. I don't know.
but this is also like, we were talking about Diref in the 1v1, the danger of Abyssal Strike, right, Hockey? But
Yeah,
but the amount of damage to be that quick, honestly, I
I've never
wasn't
seen it.
expecting it. Because it's
I've never
Lapu
seen.
Lapu, because it's Lapu Lapu. Lapu Lapu
Yeah,
is tanky, and he never got to use the revitalize. So I don't know what happened. I mean, if you're asking me to break this down, all I can say is that lost HP and combined with certain items like Hunter Strike. Okay, War Axe, he was building the stacks, but the deletion, I wasn't really expecting that. Maybe I haven't
here's the
seen
thing.
Gyroth in a while, or I thought Lapu was more tanky, but something was
Yeah.
strange there. I mean, I never seen that before.
Same here. Here's the only the only time you really see a Dyer's delete fighters, and not just Lapu, but I'm talking about the tankiest of heroes, is when the Dyer's is overfed. We're talking about equal farm deletion.
Mm,
That
mm,
that that is
yeah,
a whole different level. You're talking about two guys in a 1v1 having equal farm, and one guy just got deleted from a Dyer's by a fight with playing with a Lapu. That is not normal. But for now,
that's not
I
normal.
think we're gonna head into game number four because
Mm.
everything that's happening is unexpected. So let's head straight to the break here. Let's take a breath, see what happened here, and then we go into game number four.
Or
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for game number four here. And I'm still shocked from game number three, the instant kill coming through. The game number two, the 1 HP, the comeback from 1 HP tower, and the game one, where it was just a slow push over and over that led into a big push eventually and an end. And I'm still quite shocked. Every game so far of the C region has been insane, has been really good, and I'm quite excited to see more games as we head into game number four. What do you think, Synth?
I mean, first and foremost, wow, what a game! Like Dyruf being picked into Lapu, that's profession. That's a professional being obviously comfortable with what they do. So I want to say this in the previous case, but we got to talk about the draft, right? We do expect that Guinevere and that Freya to be banned. We see that Freya being banned. I'm expecting the Gwyn to be banned. The Dyrov coming in. Okay. But listen to this
Okay.
though. That's gonna open the Guinevere. That's gonna open the Guinevere though. That Watsunishi previously has banned. So is Guinevere gonna be picked here?
Let's see it. Is it gonna be a Gwyn, or does he not play Gwyn? Let's see. Because we didn't see Gwyn in the stats. His top three heroes in this tournament so far has been just marksman.
Mm.
So Steven has been just playing anything but his main, except for the Melissa game. Of course, he played the Minstatar, which is not his main, and he played the Dyrus, which is also not part of his hero pool in this tournament, at least his most used heroes. And so far, we've
Mm.
only been seeing. Wait, Mia. His one of his top heroes is Mia, but so far we've also been seeing Watson only on comfort heroes. He got the Freya, he got the Lapu twice, but now a Mia as the first pick. I think that makes him vulnerable, especially to Lapu Lapu.
That's really vulnerable to Lapu Lapu, but not only to Lapu Lapu. I was just
A lot?
thinking, why not go Hayabusa? Why not go Hayabusa or some assassin, right? Like
Yeah.
like
There it
you
is, the
literally
Gwyn.
just ooh, or Guinevere. Why not? Guinevere is so safe here. Guinevere is so safe. Can try to jump. If he doesn't jump, it's okay. He will just attempt until he gets it. And once he jumps, I mean, obviously he's just gonna kill him. Too much damage for a Mia. But Inspire here, I think this
I
is a big
mean,
mistake coming out from Sijun. I'm expecting, honestly, prediction.
here's
Watsunishi
the
gonna take this.
I kind of agree and kind of not at the same time. Now, here's my take on this, right? She has the hidden moonlight. Mia has the purify already for the one jump that Guinevere has, the special migration, right? So if he
Mm.
uses that hidden moonlight properly on where he can escape every time, I don't think he can get caught by the Guinevere. And because he can purify both CCs depending on how he uses the hidden moonlight, whether it's the special migration, whether it's the violet requiem, right? It depends on how it's played here by Season. But once again, you can't purify damage. And Guinevere, known to be recently been playing semi-tank and stuff, but when Guinevere plays full damage, let's not forget she hurts.
Absolutely, and I want to say just something about what you said about the purify. I mean, sure, but like you said also about the damage, I do think the damage is going to be too strong from Guinevere. But look at this, Dormia doing a lot of damage. Okay, we didn't
Ooh,
expect this. I gotta. Oh, look at this! Look at this. Okay, okay, okay. The fight's coming out.
okay.
So this is more like it. I mean, I was expecting Guinevere to do damage and a lot of damage regardless of the purify if Mia is gonna escape from the jump. So I mean, it's hard to say, but I think Guinevere just has the upper hand in this matchup. I don't really know why Watsunishi maybe didn't want to go Hayabusa. Moves fast with that quad shadow and the ultimate can easily Oge shadow kill can easily kill Mia, but maybe it's easier to play like this, maybe a little bit safer, right?
Yeah. Like I
Because
said,
one
it's
because one thing you
comfort
can do
over. Hmm?
Because one thing you can do, I was just thinking now with Guinevere, you can have a little bit of fun. You can even buy the freeze.
That
Um,
is true.
if you're afraid of that Mia basically uh, dodging your jump and then to pop up from another place, you can just freeze. That's not a bad option.
Is not indeed, but depends also because after the freeze, if he gets his cooldown just in time, yeah, it could work. But if he doesn't get the cooldown he's looking for just in time, I think he might be taken down because Mia can just sit there and time the stun that she has. And look at this, he does have the Violet Requiem, he does have the Spatial Migration, and knows that CJ does not have the Hidden Moonlight up until now. There it is, the Hidden
Hmm.
Moonlight activated here. They both have their level 4, and this is where the game is gonna change a lot. They're gonna play safe. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be a safe side from both of them. Maybe we might see Watson on the aggressive side, and there it is, but unfortunately just misses. Maybe he's trying to, bait it out. There it is with the flicker and the special the Violet Requiem, but it's not enough damage in the early game, and the Hidden Moonlight, like I said, can purify. So it's pretty unfortunate here. Really nice combo, really nice outplay, but it could have worked on anyone else but Mia.
Yeah, and I think that Guinevere also like in that situation, I mean, sure, he tries to really engage, but does he believe that the kill is on the table? Probably not. Probably just testing to see Mia
Yeah,
reaction. What's the first thing she does? Okay, she used that moonlight requiem, like you said, purifies, but maybe just limit testing because I mean the flicker here it's wasted, but is it a big mistake? I mean, not really. You're gonna
Mhm.
get it back for the next time you want to engage because obviously Guinevere has all the cards on her side of the table. Mia has that farm though. We can't disrespect the farm because later on that
yeah,
that damage is gonna be too much.
it's
But
pretty insane.
but right now I want to see something that we said when we were casting the Melissa against the Lapo game. I want to see the fight from Guinevere being taken to Mia before that late stage. So around that mid stage, around that mid to late game, I want to see the engage happening. Before then, no, you can just move around the map. You have the control, farm the gold crab like you've been doing in previous matches. On Sijon side, I mean, obviously you're Mia, you have a much better scale. You gotta be careful of not being picked up until then because I do think that Guinevere, even though it's not as fast as a marksman for push, is still fast, and
Yeah.
I think maybe even faster than Lapu. So you gotta be careful here.
I think the general idea is you're trying, and especially in a 1v1, you're trying to delay as much as possible no matter the matchup because you gotta calculate the death timer. You want to make sure they're dead for as long as possible without going into late game just so you can have that time to push the tower, you know. Since we're playing on the
Mm.
first tower only, you're trying to push the tower as quick as possible and have enough time for your minions to arrive and get the tower before he even comes back up. It's not optimal, but at the same time, it's also the only thing you're kind of looking for when you come into such of a stale matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of still matchup, we gotta remember we haven't seen all of these games that we've cast. So haven't seen the the kill count go up after two. I think they both
Yeah.
got one kill, and that's it. And after that, never up to two kills. And definitely, I don't expect a three kill because at that point the tower
Oi,
will be
there it
pushed too
is.
much. But look at
Coming
this,
through. He
Mia,
might be in
Moonlight
trouble.
Record, Moonlight Record. He's gonna go for it.
Oi, the
Oh my
Wind
god! Oh my
Talker!
god!
The
Oh
Wind
my god!
Talker!
Oh my god! See John with the magic. He's cooking up the magic. The magic
Oh
is
my
here. The Wind
gosh!
Talker comes in. Oh my god.
The
But look at
Wind
this. The
Talker!
Mia has inspired. Nah, it's a GG. It's a GG.
It's a yeah,
Goodbye. It's
yeah,
a
no,
GG. This is
no,
crazy.
it's a
This
GG.
is crazy.
It's a
Oh my god.
GG. This is
No.
3-1 to
Not
Legion.
like this.
What?
Not like this. Not like this.
What?
Not
The
like
Wind
this.
Talker! The Wind Talker sins!
Oh,
The Wind
I
Talker!
mean, I mean,
Clutch! Not even, no, it's not even the Inspire. Nothing.
oh my
The
god.
Wind Talker! What?
No way. No way. Like, wow, like my heart is beating because you know what I was saying. Like each game, Sejan wins. It's the magic. It's just
Yeah.
entertaining. It's just I'm feeling like I'm watching my favorite movie, and I'm just like, I'm just excited about the whole scenario because
Yeah.
every game I'm seeing, there's always a crazy finish. What's going on? What's
I
going
said
on?
I
It's
said that.
unbelievable.
I said that, and it happens over and over and over and over. What? Legion is the magician of the sea region. The magic of the region
Not
is all in Lesion's hands. He is the
not
magician,
the
the
wind talker.
1v1 king
You know
here. I
what's
mean,
crazy? You know, you know what's crazy, hockey is once I
yeah,
seen that Guinevere under turret, I said, "Wow, okay,
yeah,
that's crazy to risk it, but she's gonna survive." And then you said the
yeah,
wind talker, and I was looking on my screen because I'm on the PC, right? So I was looking, I see this small
yeah.
pixel moving. I said, "What is that?" And the wind talker
The
just
wind
kills her.
talker.
What
I
the
just
hell? Oh my god!
I just
I
see it
just see the small
chasing.
pixel on I just see the small pixel on my computer because the screen is big, right? It's
Yeah.
large, and I'm wondering like what is
I
that
was
moving? I'm zooming
here's
in. I'm checking to see the wind talker. Then I just see the kill. I was like, what the hell? It's
Here's the thing.
unbelievable.
To the viewers, the monitor is far, so I was like sitting and like, wait, hold on, what is that? And I see a wind talker just
Yeah.
flying to Gulliver, like, the wind talker sins, the wind talker, like it actually got the
Yeah.
win and got the game
Yeah.
for me and for Prestige, and he's just pulling out magic. But I think we might see
Like,
more. We still have one more game, last game either for season, or we might see more games if Watson comes through. And we also have your favorite host coming
mm,
into the next game as well.
mm.
So let's get,
And
you know what? Let's get into the, let's say since last words here, and we get straight to the break.
yeah, I want to.
All right, we have arrived at the absolute peak of the tension, folks. It is match point. One of these players is just one away from lifting the Challenge Cup trophy, while the other one is fighting to keep the tournament alive. So it's a do or die now. That's the level of play we've seen from the both players has been top tier, but it all comes down to this next few minutes of micromanagement. So I'm curious, Synth and Hockey, to see how they handle this pressure. Is there a specific hero matchup or ability you think is going to side this title? Okay, back to you, casters.
And we are back
I
now,
mean,
ladies and gentlemen, into game number 5 here, and I'm shocked. I'm just shocked. Thank you, Z, once again
yeah.
for making this
Thank
game
you.
more hype, and thanks to everyone here behind behind the scenes. A lot of help coming in from a staff. But now we are onto match point. Keep in mind, it's not over yet. We might see a comeback, but if Season
Yeah.
still got that magic, it could be match point. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk a little bit about the game so far. So what we've been seeing, Watsunashi always looks better in that early game, but Sejun
Hmm.
pulls out some magic from nowhere. I mean, I've never seen that kind of gameplay before. The Wind Talker, first of all, the Wind Talker, then the
Yeah.
1 HP tower, then the direct execution. I mean, are we gonna see another magic, or is Watsunashi gonna do something to bring this back, to bring this game back? Because looking at it from a caster's view, right? And I've also been
Mhm.
a coach. I've coached some of the best players in Europe. Not to hype, but it's true. And when I'm seeing these kinds of stuff, I'm seeing Watsunashi play. Like, obviously, he does the right things on paper, goes for the
Yeah.
farm, doesn't try to do too much, and tries to play his hero correctly. He's tried to take the fight to Mia, but I don't know. It seems like Sejun has some kind of magic or some kind of entity, I would say, protecting, because somebody wants Sejun to win this tournament real bad.
Yeah.
Something bigger than this, than all of this, and I don't know what's going on.
I'm quite excited to see more magic into these games, and I mean, let's see what Season is cooking up because so far it's just been a magical series, right?
Mm,
We've seen a lot of things coming, abnormal things. Yes, a lot of
mm.
abnormal things just coming through,
Mm.
and it's just
Paranormal. And we say
yeah, here's
paranormal?
the thing. Yeah, we don't say normal, we say abnormal, but at this point for Season, I guess this is his normal, right? And at the same
Mm,
time, looking from the caster's view, and you said you've coached people, I've also coached a few people in MENA
mm,
region. I gotta say, the way Season is playing this is patience is key. You always see all of his picks are about patience. Even though the first game
mm.
wasn't really any different. He also picked a hero
Yeah.
that scales. He is a person that scales into the game and is careful with his movements. He knows to play safe, when to pick a hero that farms for
Mm.
the jungle, this and that. So you can pretty much tell by his playstyle, he is looking to delay.
Absolutely. He's looking to delay, but he's looking to make calculated but the risks that he's been taking, every risk that looks good from our perspective side just ends up in disaster. I mean, getting stunned under turret, that wind talker killing you, then that of execution. I mean, that Melissa comeback, like it looks strong from the side of Watsunishi going for those engages, but at every point, I mean, the magic of Sijun has stopped Watsunishi in his tracks. So I'm wondering now,
Yeah.
we see that Thanos. This is a 1v1 hero that I like. It's strong, it's tanky, and there's not much to kill.
Ooh.
Thanos. Ooh.
The Guinevere. Now you've mentioned the Thamus, by the way. Remember that you've mentioned him
Mm,
between game one and game two, or game two or game three, and you did say that
mm.
Thamus is really strong, and I do agree here. But against the Guinevere, he doesn't really put out that much potential because he's constantly CC'd. I think it's best if he goes Purify. What do you think?
Mm. I think I think vengeance is fine for Tamus because you're going for the survivability, right? You're trying
Hmm.
to aim to out tank Guinevere and then make a comeback and then push the tower. That is how
Yes, true.
Watsunishi should try to win this game. Sure, take the damage from Guinevere, be tanky, then push the tower, use your ultimate, get that lifesteal back, do your thing as a Tamus. The problem is for Tamus is obviously he has a flames running around his body, so that's gonna hit Guinevere automatically just by being in the presence. If you're under the turret's gonna start hitting you. So from Tamu's side, I mean, it's you can push. He should try to go for that plan, but is it gonna work out? I mean, the tower may actually stop you in your track. So I'm looking forward to this, guys,
Ooh.
ladies and gentlemen. This is a game five. I mean, at this point, who's gonna win the game?
Let's get straight into it. We got one of the toughest games here so far. It's a match point here for Seizure, or we might see otherwise. And let's see here. I mean, this is like right now, Watson is in a predicament, right? He has to play on point because you can't just lose like that 3 times in a row. You can't. You just absolutely can't,
Yeah,
right? And this is
yeah,
where he needs
absolutely.
to
And for Sijun,
switch up.
hmm, yeah, I mean, obviously, Watsunishi needs to play his best game. For Sijun, obviously you have, the match leads. So, but you also don't really want to give away for free any match. You need to make Watsunishi work for this, regardless if you lose or win. So,
Yeah,
so now Sijun, I'm looking forward to how is this Guinevere gonna come into play. Because last game when Watsunishi picked it, didn't really work out. Regardless, it was against Amiya. I said this is definitely gonna work out, but didn't. So now against Atamus, I'm a much more questionable situation than when I was against the Mia. And against the Mia, he lost. Guinevere lost that matchup against Mia for different reasons. But in this
yeah.
matchup, I would say it's even harder. It's
I
even
mean,
harder to win for Guinevere.
there are some factors, right? When you're playing Gwyn against a specific type of heroes. Against like Mia, you do have to encounter someone who has really safe position and at the same time a purify that is already built in the hero, right? But in a matchup like this, you are pretty much guaranteed to, by the way, there's a redeem code on the screen. Make sure you get that. And keep in mind, you see that under slash? That's
Mm,
the missing letter. You try to guess that letter, you get the redeem code. Come on, go,
mm,
go, 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 everyone. But apart from that, right, as
yeah.
we're hyping things up right now,
Go
I
or
am
maybe I'll
saying,
go. Maybe I'll
eh,
go.
you know what, I'm claiming. I'm joking, I'm joking. But apart from that,
I'm claiming that, guys. I know the last letter. No, I'm kidding.
yo, he knows, by the way, careful. You gotta get faster than him. But yeah, it's gonna be out in 3 seconds. There it is, one, two, and three, and goodbye redeem code. But apart from that, you're playing against a hero that doesn't have neither of what the Mia had against the Gwen, right? It doesn't have the positioning, doesn't have
Mm,
like the safe positioning at least, and doesn't have the built in Purify. It does have the sustain, and you did say
yeah.
that you can just out sustain the Gwen at the same time try to like kill, but
Mm.
it depends because there are flexible combos that Gwen can just do before the actual combo itself, just so she can poke him down a little and maybe hope for that kill on at the end and execute. Maybe if you're playing with like a Starlium or something.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but we gotta keep in mind that Vengeance spell from Tamus is extremely tanky. So Guinevere, like you said, can try to do those combos, but is he gonna kill once Tamus have those Vengeance? Never. That's never gonna happen. If Tamus has a Vengeance, that Guinevere should try to just bait it out because he'll never win it. And I'm wondering about
Yeah.
this screen also, the top screen. I mean, the score should be 3-1, right? Hockey, or am I dreaming and sleeping and with your 2 hours of sleep, we're not keeping track anymore.
I am beyond bamboozle. I mean, you think with 2 hours sleep, I can comprehend what Magic Season is pulling off right now for the past 3 games.
Hmm.
I think
Absolutely not. Even
we
with
might
my
see an
10 hours
engage
sleep,
here.
I cannot.
Ooh, Wild Requiem,
That's
but
too late, though. That's too late. That's way too late because he should have done it under the turret, right? He shouldn't have done it just then. He waited a little bit too long, maybe. And look at his lifesteal. This lifesteal is what we wanted to see. I can barely speak
yeah,
anymore because that lifesteal is just filling up so quick. But we want to see that, right? Because you were talking about something previously in 2 games ago when you said the HP is just as important as the gold. And I totally
yeah,
agree with you. If you play a 1v1 without the lifesteal hero, you'll lose because you're gonna get chipped away. Eventually, you'll be too low. You have to recall, and that recall is gonna
yeah.
cost you dearly. So so the HP seeing from Tamus, I mean the lifesteal, this is something that we want to see. What we want to look for when we look for
Wee.
heroes about who's the top in 1v1.
All right.
Mm.
This I think
And
we're
we
still
just got
looking
info.
for.
We just got info from the top man himself, Bordy, saying that the score is wrong on the if you can see the template. It's supposed to be 3 to Sujin and 1 to Watsunishi.
That is true. That two is not supposed to be there, but I guess we can keep track of that. Apart from that, I'm seeing a lot of poke once again, but it's not that big of a deal of a poke. I think both of them are just anti-heal. I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna straight away say it, anti-heal. They're just waiting for that because you're not gonna kill Athamas. Pure damage
Mm.
alone. If you're expecting him to vengeance and use the counter infernal, you're not gonna kill him with these two alone. You need that anti-heal to make sure he doesn't become a beast after you finish your combo. So it depends. Also, it kind of depends. There it is, the engage coming through the special migration, but of course, obviously, you're not gonna do much here. Oh, looks like a bait coming through. Might be in trouble.
Wait,
Season. Oh, there is a counter inferno looking for a
wait.
dive, looking for something of vengeance, and I think he survived. But
He can't
he
recall
can't.
here.
He
Surely
can't.
he
Yeah,
cannot
he can't.
recall.
He has to clear. He does have his cooldowns
Yeah,
again,
he has to
so
clear.
looking for
And look
something
at the
here.
lifestyle. The lifestyle that you were talking about. Look at Guinevere HP. It's already too much. It's back. It's back almost full. But
Yep.
also the waster was that flicker was popped. So without the flicker, maybe that would be a Tamus finish right there.
Yeah, that's true. That was quite of a risky dive, by the way, because if it was played right here by the Guinevere, he could have activated that Violet Requiem under the tower, by the way, but he did not have the stacks, and looking for another engage with a tower lock and a minion, so not much he can really do here with the Violet Requiem, not even damage. He knows that he doesn't have the Vengeance, but probably knows that he has the Culture and Inferno back.
Mm, absolutely. And at this point, I mean, the vengeance, sure, but even if he has no vengeance, I truly don't believe that this is not a direct scenario. You're not gonna kill Tamus from full HP if you're Guinevere. It's not, you know, Tamus is much more tanky than that. We can't disrespect that tanky. Now, I want to say something about just how without that flicker, I think this game would be over. I mean, we saw the engage from Tamus, the commit. He did a lot more damage than we got a taste of Tamus damage, with the true damage combined also. So he does a lot of damage underestimately than maybe what I expected.
Yeah, that is true. And looks like both teams are gonna stick to the safe side once
Mm.
again. The Lord is up. Are
And I
we gonna see
wanna
a Lord?
could be, but I wanna say something though, Hockey. I mean,
Mhm.
if you're looking at the items right here from Tammuz, the viewers might not see
Ooh.
it, but right here we have a radiant. We have a radiant coming in from Tammuz. We have a Coruscant site, and on the other side, obviously we have concentrated energy and what looks to be, I think, glowing one. So
Mm.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
looks
really
like
interesting. Where's this game gonna go? Because at this point, Tamus starts to build tanky. If you build tanky with
yeah.
Tamus, you're definitely not gonna get. I mean, one comboed by a Guinevere, because Tamus is tanky, is generally tanky, even if it plays damage with vengeance.
Yeah, that's true. You know, best guess here is that Guinevere can still burst down on Thanos if only and only if he gets that Starlium and Wishing Lantern, right? And some penetration alongside, or maybe pure damage just to scale on the Wishing. Because I don't think there's any other build that is gonna help you burst down a Radiant Thanos. Like, that's all he need. Maybe if he gets Oracle, that's quite overkill for the Guinevere, you know?
Yeah, but I was just thinking about another thing that, you know how Guinevere's ultimate works. Once you have those three stacks, even though you may not have jumped the Tamus, you can still just use your ultimate and he'll be in the air. So even if you're under turret, if you give Guinevere the free stacks, that's not gonna be something positive. And soon we're gonna see the item check coming in here. And this
There
is it.
it
This is
is.
it. These are the items.
I think we're seeing a freeze. We are seeing a freeze and we're seeing an
Mm,
Athena, by the way. Look at this.
mm.
I, pretty interesting. I mean, I do like the freeze on the Gwen, but the Athena and the Radiant kind of works, I guess. Looks like Samus is
Uh,
looking for a push
I
here. This
don't
might be similar to the Freya game.
I don't know exactly, and I don't know if I really like that freeze.
Oi!
I don't know. No,
Oi!
no, no, no,
No!
no.
He
Goodbye.
went under
The
tower!
magic, the magic, the magic, the magic coming out from Siege almost. What the hell is
Almost.
this? But look though. Look though, she has no ultimate. She has no ultimate.
Oi.
Oh, is she going for this? This is too dangerous. This is too dangerous. Namu's got to go back as well. None of them can really do something here. They got to play safe. This is too risky. This is too risky. But wow, this is what I was talking about. Hockey under
Yeah.
turret, it's a really dangerous territory for Thomas. I get that he wants to push, but you need to know, you need to kind of dodge the jumps from Guinevere, and you don't want to be caught under turret.
That is true. And keep in mind, we are seeing the same Freya strat where he's just pushing the tower slowly and potentially end the game right after, right? That could be the
Mm.
strat once again because he can do that, similar to Freya, and less riskier at this point because you're not playing against something that completely, stuns you, heals on you, and at the same time keeps you in place like a King's Calling. This is a Guinevere against a Thamos where you're not gonna get insta killed
Mm.
regardless. So it's quite safer, but at the same time depends because if you do use an altar of vengeance, kinda puts you in a tower target, and that could be more than enough for you to be taken down. So let's see here. Looks like a lot of jumps just coming in from the Guinevere here. I mean, it's just a spatial migration one after another, after another, after another. He's just looking for that under tower opportunity. And if you have been keeping an eye on the score, it has been updated. There it is. It's back to 3-1. Right now, though, we're looking at
Yeah, it
something risky
is.
here on the tower.
Thanks, Bordy, for your great. But look at this though. Okay, so
Oi!
I'm wondering, is he gonna? No, 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 no. You cannot go under turret right there. You've got to be careful. But
Oi!
look at the turret. The turret is giving cheap. Oh,
That's
this
all
is
damage.
dangerous
He's
territory. This is. No, 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 don't do this. Don't do this. This is too risky. This is too risky.
he's
When
gonna
the
get the
flicker
tower.
comes out from
He's gonna get the
Guinevere,
tower.
is he gonna defend? He's gonna finish. He's gonna finish. He's gonna. He's not. What?
No,
He's
he
not gonna.
finished. It's a
No,
good
no,
game.
no,
It's
no,
a good
no,
game.
no.
It's a
Oh
good
my
game. He
God.
sacrificed himself for it, and he got the win he's looking for. What? What? He
Damn.
went for it. Such, such, such a risky move, yet pulled it
That's
off. What a
crazy. You know what I?
play!
You know what I got, Hockey? I got that Lapu flashback against the Melissa. I said
Yeah.
he's gonna survive the one HP and gonna kill you. But the last hit, he did not do the same mistake. Just focuses down on the base. Bam, bam, bam. It doesn't stop. But you know, I was thinking when I first seen this engagement from Tamus, I was saying, is he gonna go in or is he gonna go out? Is he gonna go in
Yeah.
or go out? It's not really clear from our side because obviously he's cutting the wave and Gwyn doesn't know either what's going on. So
Exactly.
he wastes that flicker, but then starts hitting the wave, gets some lifesteal back. And Thomas says, you know what? I see that 35% power HP left. I'm gonna
Mhm.
try to finish. And once he does that, Guinevere does just everything to stop him. But I mean, wow.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close, and we're back onto match point, and we still need two wins here for Watson to get the Challenger Cup and lift it. But I like the Lapu flashback. That's one thing. Another thing is I like that play. I love that play because he puts Sejun in a predicament. Do I attack him or do I defend the minions? And if I try to defend the minions, which
Mm,
is a bit too late already because the minions have entered the tower, he's gonna end, and vice versa. And he puts him in
mm,
a really, really tough spot and actually pulls it off. It could have backfired. Remember that.
mm.
It could have backfired just like the previous Lapu game. It could have backfired really badly, but this time we've seen it work. And I think we got the hint of how both of them play. One prepares
Yeah,
a small push for the tower, and the other person is just patient enough trying to go for that scale just to win later on, right? So
yeah.
I think this is where everything is on the line, and I think they gotta change that style because this is where you have to pull out the last cards that you have in your pocket.
Yeah, and like you said, we just saw that, if we talk about the play style of Sejun, we've seen that Sejun has gone for those kills a lot, but but the logic, he wanted to go for the kill on Tamus. That's why when Tamus cut the wave, he said, "Let me do something about it." But then the logic came in and said, "Not really. I need to defend the tower, otherwise I'm gonna lose." And so he went to Tamus, then he went back, and then
Yeah.
he tries to fight, looks a little bit strange, waist flicker, I don't know what's going on. And then once he sees that Tamus try to just finish, I mean,
There's nothing you can do
unlucky,
here.
lucky, finally, what can you say? Like it's been full circle moment from that Melissa Lapu game when Lapu didn't finish that base, was 1 HP, but this time with Tamus, he does finish that base, gets that second point on the board. Right now it's 4-2, ladies and
Yep,
gentlemen, if I'm not wrong.
it is. It's yeah, I think it's 3-2, not
Or
four
4-3, 4-3,
yeah,
4-3, sorry.
4-3. And
Or 3-2, or
no,
3-2.
3-2. You're 3-2 because it's the best of
Yeah,
seven. It's
I'm
3-2.
mixing it up.
We're
I'm mixing it up.
mixing up here,
I'm
we
mixing it up.
haven't slept, so. But apart from that, I'm excited for next game. Should we go to the next game? What do you think? We should, right?
Yeah,
I think we
yeah,
should
if we
take a
can,
break
if we
here.
can.
Yup,
Or
let's go.
let's take a
Let's
break.
go
Let's
for a
take a
break.
break and then let's go to
Mhm.
the next game.
He said it. There it is. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, over game number 6 right now, and it's just been chaotic over and over, and we still have either two games or the last games. So because Season, the magician, does have one last point, but keep in mind we could see a comeback coming in from Watson as well. So
Mm.
it's quite chaotic here. Me and Sense we just going crazy over these games.
Mm. And also, not only that, I mean, we've been going crazy, but the players have been going crazy because the games that we've been seeing is unbelievable. I mean, these are not boring games where we see just one fight and then finishes just easily. I mean, it's always something crazy happening in the fights. Now I want to get into the draft, right? We're getting into the sixth game. We're talking, right? We said it's 3-2, 3 to Sujin, 2 to
Yeah.
Watsunishi. So we've seen a lot of Freya bans. We've seen, yeah, Freya's being banned here. We've seen Guinevere previously being picked, Guinevere not being picked, Guinevere being banned. So are we going to see the Gwyn ban, the Dairoth ban? Okay, I like this ban a lot more because obviously how strong that Dairoth is. I mean, Watsunishi got himself a trauma from that Lapu game. He got a
Yeah.
big memory. And obviously, I mean, that Abyssal Strike is just too dangerous. You got to ban out that Dairoth. What
So
does
here's the
Seagen play? Hockey, what can we say about what Seagen can play here? I mean, we've seen a lot of everything, basically the fighters, the marksmen, just everything.
like I
I
said,
mean, what can we say?
we could pull out new cards, but if I was in
Mm,
Seagen's place, I would play something that is anti-sustain because that is what we've seen so far only from Watson. Watsonishi's just only playing sustain over sustain, and it looks like it's a risk pick, but once again a main pick. One of his main three heroes, and there it is, the second one, Ixia. And so far, we have seen Watsunishi play all of his mains. He played his Lapu, he played his
mm,
Freya, he played his Samus. He's only been going for comfort picks, and it looks like for Season, that might be the case. You know, like maybe if I'm also winning on comfort picks, why should I change my comfort picks, right? And we
mm.
see it on the Mia game, but
The,
right now,
the
Ixia.
thing is here. The thing is here. Once you see that Ixia, why not lock in an assassin? I don't really see the downsides of it too much.
Well, maybe,
I
he
think
doesn't play assassins. Could be. Even though some
maybe.
assassins are really easy to play, like you could still play like a saber and have that level 4 advantage. But apart from that,
Yeah,
or even other assassins even work at this point. Maybe if you pick some marksman, there are some literal.
because if we think about it, sorry to cut you off, Honky, but
It's
if we
fine.
think about it, just that interesting saber point. I mean, if you have the right items with saber, right, you're level 8, 9, and the first item of Ixia isn't a wind of nature. Why can't you just dive the tower, make a full hit combo, flicker in, and just execute the guy? I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's true. But
I'm miscalculating the damage, but I don't know.
keep in mind, we're seeing interesting picks. We've seen Ixia against Asura, and the Ixia is on Purify against Asura that can dive, by the way. Remember that.
Mm,
Now, I'm not a fan of the Purify here because even if he does use the cloud form, you can pretty much still flicker away from it because he's not gonna be able to, stack on you instantly. But Purify, if he uses the Thunder
mm,
form, Heaven's Wrath, that could be it. He can dive you, he
mm.
can kill you. This is no different than an assassin, and since
Absolutely, hockey.
since as a coach here, he
Mm,
knows a lot and he knows how powerful Sora can be when it comes to diving compositions.
absolutely. So Sora is one of those heroes that can, in an instant, do extremely a lot of damage. Just explodes onto you.
Yeah.
But one thing that I've noticed, I might be I might have even played and might be a coach. But the thing is this: all my knowledge, when I see what's been going on in this 1v1, I throw it out the
Yeah,
window because
yeah,
this is just something else. This is, we're
please.
seeing the logic being broken. I mean, the lucks being taken into play and all kinds of stuff that I don't normally see. I'm
Mhm.
I'll be honest, but at the same time, I mean, if we go from what we expect, the Purify is not better than the Flicker. Now,
Yeah,
we've been saying a lot of things that we expect, and other usually from this tournament at least, it's been the other way around. But but let's see how the Purify is going to come into play, regardless.
I mean, some things he said has been right, some things he said has been very wrong, thanks to the logic being broken, like since mentioned. But once again, I think knowing how Sora functions, you pretty much should understand why Purify isn't really the best. He doesn't get you out of the sun, like the damage he just pulls off. And besides, he's one of the best heroes to chase, right? Not
Hmm.
even assassins, they can barely escape Sora, right? But generally, any other hero in the game cannot run from a Thunder form Sora. So I'm quite excited. I think the only time you can really survive the cloud form, the thunder form is if you have a wind of nature. Apart from that, I don't think you can survive a Sora at all.
Yeah, exactly. And when you have a wind of nature, maybe the danger, if you have a wind of nature and flicker and Ixia, maybe the danger would be on Sora. Maybe it would be maybe too dangerous to even engage at certain moments, just because that combination is too strong. One thing that I see though that Hockey we haven't really talked about is that killing spree onto Sora. Is it a good emblem in this case? Absolutely not, because most likely it will be just one kill, so you don't need to recover HP after your kill, which is what killing spree does. So I'm not really liking
I
that,
mean,
but yeah,
I kind of agree. The slight disagreement that I do have here is like when he, dives and he wants to survive to, get out of the tower. But there is another code. Ooh, and that one is a secret as a fight is happening here
This is what
with
you
the
were talking about. This is
Stormbind
what you were
coming
talking about,
through
Hockey.
and almost
This
gets
is
the kill.
no. Oh
Oh,
my
there
god.
it is, the
this
dive
is what I'm
coming
talking about.
through the Stormbind, and there was a code. And in the middle of that action, make sure you grab that code or I will. By the way,
Because
just
of the
because
action,
yeah, because of the
because
action,
of the
I'm very
action, our
generous. I
great,
will show it again. There
yeah,
it is, the code for everyone. Make sure you claim it. There's one missing letter. Whoever guesses that gets the code, gets the rewards. But apart from that, we're gonna take it off in five, four, three, two, one, and goodbye code. Make sure you guess that last letter, by the way. And apart from that, like the Stormbind came through, that was already more than enough damage. And I do think, like I said, I was mentioning, the killing spree plays a role into escaping a dive, right? Generally,
yeah,
yeah, it's not good, but I think in a situation where you're playing against someone who's constantly sitting on their tower, you probably have no choice but try to kill and get out so you can push right after. Because if you kill and then you die right
yeah.
after, that you don't really gain much from that. Unless you're one kill ahead. He can just, dive, a kill, and then be advantage on kills and probably win the first game on
Ooh,
kills.
Hockey, I'm
Wait,
just a little bit surprised. I gotta say, did you see the items? When you
Wind
see
of
the items, you'll
Nature.
be you'll be real surprised because the wind of nature comes into play on Ixia. He's diving, but he has wind of
Wait,
nature though. He's gonna pop the wind of nature. The wind of
wait.
nature is there. This the items that we were talking about. But he's getting low. He's getting low. He's trying to do something. Now the lifesteal is coming back. Ooh, that queen swings. No way. It is built
It
by
is.
Sora. It's a good item, but do you not want to go War Axe? Maybe a little bit more damage, especially when you're this close to really dealing too much damage. Ooh, that's just gonna tickle. That's not gonna do too
I
much
mean,
onto Sora, right?
yeah, that's true. It's not gonna do much. But I think the point of the Queen Wings here is that he's trying to recover from the skills he misses, so that he can just, pull them off
Mm,
quick and get the stacks quicker. I think he's going here for cooldown because right now, as a Sora, even if you don't build War Axe, it's fine because the hero is built into scale on both HP and damage. Remember that.
mm,
So either way, he's
yeah,
still getting damage regardless of what he's building. And I think it's just fine, if you're getting that damage and the Queen Wings provide you some life steal as well and that cooldown that you kind of need just in case something wrong happens. I think it's better than War Axe in my opinion. Yeah, War Axe pulls out all of damage, but once again, on Sora it's a different thing, it's a different scaling.
absolutely. Could be, but it's hard to tell because at this point, if Ixia is gonna play under turret, maybe it's not gonna be needed for any damage item. Maybe that Queen Swings is much better. But look at this. He's gonna for commit. He knows that the
Oi.
Purify just got popped. The Purify got popped, but he knows that Ixia does not have the Wind of Nature now, but will have it really soon. Now that Wind of Nature, we gotta keep in mind. The Wind of Nature does that. Ixia has no damage right now. She does not have much damage, and it's shown once she uses that ultimate, right? But right now they're both just trying to tug it out inside of mid lane. None are really moving. I mean, Sora trying to check the jungle, maybe trying to hit something, but Ixia playing really under turret.
I think Sora knows that the Purify is not there. Even though the Wind of Nature, I think he can still kill. And he probably gonna go for a flicker there with Stormbind as we speak. He's praying it. There is the full barrage coming through, but does have the Stormbind coming through, pulling him out. The Wind of Nature triggered, but a bit too early, I believe, and that might be it, ladies and gentlemen. He's still looking for something, and
Oh
there it
my
is.
god!
But the minion, the minion died. Hold on now.
No.
Hold on. I think he
Wait,
might.
wait a
He
minute.
can. He can. He can. He can. Can he?
Maybe not because maybe Ixia is gonna use the. No, I think he can. I think he
Nah,
can.
he can.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
he can.
finish. He's gonna finish this. He's gonna finish this.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he can. He
there.
can. Okay, wow. Yeah, the thing is, Hockey. That Wind of Nature. I mean, it was like you said, right? The Wind of Nature does stop that damage, but it's not gonna stop all of it. And
Yeah.
Sora is such a versatile hero. Just because maybe you stop the initial damage, it has so many different forms, and it's fast as well. So that's a little bit maybe caught the Legion by surprise.
hmm Really well played here for Watanishi, and he takes it. He's making a comeback. Like I said, he could make a comeback, and we are on to, I believe, match point for both of them. This is it. This could be it. You know.
Is this it? Is this everything that's been leading that this final has been leading up to? This is officially the last game, ladies and gentlemen. And we said, I was thinking before this game, I said maybe we should not, take a pause, but I think we need to take a pause because I want to
Yeah.
bring my man Z up in here. I want to have Z's freaking hype before this last game. I can't wait for this.
Mhm.
I don't want to hop into this game. I need to relax a little bit. Let's get Z onto the stage and let's enjoy the last game, guys. Call your
Hey,
friends. This is the freaking games on the line. The tournaments on
this
the line.
final game of the City Region Champion Cup 1v1 here. Call everyone, even your family, to come watch this because this is
Yeah.
gonna get real. This is gonna be intense, and we are gonna have Z here to hype things up even further. But for now, since this match is so intense, we are gonna take another 1 minute break.
Yeah, we need to take another 1 minute.
I don't know about you guys, but my heart is racing. We have traded blow for blow, and now we are officially in the winner takes all territory. The chat is losing its mind. The players are locked in. This is the moment they'll talk about the rest of the season. Okay, Synth, is it going to be a technical clinic or a roll brawl to finish this? Okay, casters, take it away.
I cannot
I
tell you
mean,
how excited
amazing.
I am. Yeah, it is
I mean,
amazing. One
amazing
of the best.
hockey.
One of the best. Z here. Thank you for giving us this. And I cannot just tell you
Thank you.
how excited I am for this last game, this final game for the Sea region.
Mm.
What do you
And
think?
I want to talk a little bit about what Z said. So he said, are we gonna see a brawl or are we gonna see a little bit more safe, a little bit more, how can I say, farming? But I do think that this is the last. Obviously, this is the last game. This is the tournament on the line. There's a big difference here. The second and the first place. There's a saying. Nobody remembers that second place, and I can say, of the all tournaments that I've been a part of, it's true. If you talk about the tournaments, nobody remembers who's second place in that tournament. But now, listen, I think hockey, this last game, is going to be they're going to go with the comfort. It's going to be very comfort pick, and they're going to play really safe. They cannot
Yep.
be risky here. It's too risky. The tournament's on the line. It's 3-3. We've seen Sujin with that magic. We've seen Watunishi with that calculation. Here we see Dyrov. I like this Dyrov. Don't make it complicated for yourself. Yeah, Freya, okay. We see the two bands that we expected. Now, hockey, what can we expect here in terms of picks?
Well, to be fair, in my personal opinion, the first pick is always a disadvantage. So it's gonna be hard for Watsunishu to counter whatever marksman he's gonna see in front of him. I think we might see a flashback from Lapu to Melissa once again, but keep in mind, Sora, there it is, comes back on. He knows how good Sora is, especially against Seijun, but once again, Seijun might have a secret pick against Sora because once again, these guys are into the final game and they have played against everything they have encountered to get into this point. So they know what to play, they know what to pick in this moment. And Sora, really good, but only if Seijun doesn't have the perfect pick for it. Let's see here. Now, in my personal
But you
opinion,
know what I'm thinking?
I
Is that
think you
Mia
might
or
be
that
thinking.
Melissa gonna come out? Is that Mia or that Melissa gonna come out? I think we're gonna see a show.
I
Sijun
don't.
is gonna go fire against fire, and this is what I'm
Wee!
talking about. This is what I'm talking
Wee!
about. This is what
What
I
a
want to see.
pick!
This is what I want to see.
Wait, what a pick! And Mia, okay, I understand. You have the hidden moonlight, alright, you have the purify. You can play safe, you can purify once again, and this time he's still going with the inspire, even though you can have a purify and a flicker, but we've seen his magic on the Mia. He knows when he engages and when he escapes. And keep in mind, from a Sora's side, you can't really attack something invisible. Once you try to engage, Mia goes invisible. You're gonna have to disengage from there, not risk it. And there it is, the final match: Seijun
Mm.
versus Watsunishi. Mia against Asura. Both players are the best in the C region in the 1v1 Challenger Cup. What do you think, Sin?
I think this is gonna be an absolutely crazy game. Three points each. We've seen the magic from Sijun. We've also seen the craziness from Watsunishi, the calculations. The Sora being picked here from him, I like it. It's safe,
Mhm.
it's strong, not much needed to be done. Now, on the other side, I said Sijun might pull out a Mia. Why? It's risky. It has the potential with the wind of nature, but it's also crazy scale. No hero scales like Mia scale. And sure, at this point, you could say maybe Ixia, had good scale as well. It was also a marksman. What's going to be different here? Well, the difference is just because Mia has a much more damage output than Ixia. I thought Ixia was looking promising, but at the same time, I mean, it's maybe I don't think I don't think Ixia is as good as Mia just on 1v1 from everything that I've seen. So
Yeah.
so here Sijun is really putting out that the craziness. And when I say facing fire with fire, Mia is not a safe hero. I mean, even though which Sijun make it look effortless, with this kind of clear and staying under base, it's no way safe. It's no way safe because the wrong move, you play too risky. You don't have a flicker, like you said, Hockey. There's no
Mhm.
flicker on the side of Mia. It's it's not easy, even under turret. It's not easy. So Sora might try to pull a dive similar to what we've seen against Iksha. Is it gonna work? Not. We don't know yet. But I'm entertained.
I'm quite entertained as well. I can't see what will happen of this match, and so far it's gonna be safe because this is everything on the line. You cannot afford to at least do a single mistake here. Even the tiniest bit of misplay can lead to something disastrous, right? And
Mm.
it comes down to here. We have the Sora getting his level 4 here. He has a Stormbind and a Heaven's Wrath. At the same time, Mia still does not have the Hidden Moonlight. I think we might see an early engage here. This he knows the Hidden Moonlight is not
No,
there and
no,
goes
it's
for the
over. It's gonna
first
be over. Oh
blood.
my god.
The first blood, but
No.
I don't think it's gonna be over. There's still a gold tower
No,
here.
no, it's not. It's not going to be over. But I mean, he's going to be dead. So this is going to be a big. So the thing that happens here is sure, he doesn't finish. We want to reiterate, Mia is still alive in this game, but the difference in gold and farm is gonna be too
Yeah.
crazy because at this point we're gonna see a level 5 against 4. If the gold difference is gonna be about 900 almost, and Mia's gold is about 1.2k. So it's really a lot of big difference in gold. I mean, gives him a confidence boost as well, right? So, and
Hmm.
gave us a little bit taste as casters. Wow, the Sora so far seems to be the right pick against Mia. Maybe Mia playing too overextended. There gotta be more safe.
Yeah. Keep in mind that gold lead extends even further just because of Watson rotating constantly to crab. So if that wasn't already bad enough, dying already this early into the game, losing some of the gold tower, and getting out rotated once again, that extends the gold gap even further, right? And it's
Mm.
not even the gold gap, but the EXP gap as well. You gotta be a whole level behind, and that's also difference. So it's quite risky now for any magic to be pulled out here by Sijon. He has to play the super safe. Like when I say super safe, I meant like behind the tower safe, not even under tower, just behind it so you don't die. And there it is, the Stormbind coming through. We might see
No,
another kill.
no,
The Hidden Moonlight
not
has been
yet.
cancelled, and it's
Oh my
taken
god.
down. He is just
Well,
taken.
the crazy thing is that the Mia combination that we accounted for was just thrown out the window, just completely ignored from Watsunishi. It seems like
Wait,
he collected his good graces. Now he's
there.
not gonna finish. He's not
Oh,
finishing. He's not finishing. It's nowhere even close. But the thing is, it surprised me how strong. Now Mia is not gonna have another chance.
mhm.
If she
I
dies now,
think.
it is over. Obviously, because 3 kills, so it doesn't even matter
Yeah.
about the tower.
I think this might be the first game in this final where we see a 3 kill, and there it is, another dive coming through, but unfortunately this time he misses. Will he try to go for the end though? I don't think he'll get close. The minions though,
Oh,
they
look
are
at the
lurking.
base. Look at the
It's
base.
it's 1 HP, it's low, it will not exactly on HP, but I think the next minion wave that enters in that might be GG. Let's take a quick look at the itemization before we end the game
Mm,
potentially. And there it is. Once again, we've seen the Queen Wings and the Mia's going here, I believe, for the Demon Hunter.
yeah. I mean, she's going to play that damage, right? But I
Oh
don't know. I think it's gonna be
no.
finish here. Hockey, it's gonna be a finish. Hockey, it's gonna
Oh
be a finish.
no. Never mind.
Why? Why doesn't he not have ultimate? Why is he still Hockey? I have a high belief that
He can end.
Watsunishi don't really need. He can end. He just needs to
Yeah.
push the wave under turret and end. But think about it like this, Hockey. What if he
Yeah.
dies and the Mia pushes with Inspire? No, he's gonna
That's
kill. He's gonna kill.
true.
He's gonna kill.
Wait.
He's gonna
No,
kill.
no, no,
He
no.
dodges. He dodges. No, he's gonna
Oh,
finish.
never mind. The
Oh my
tower
god.
is
Oh
down,
my god.
and it's 3 kills also. It's just. This is just too much. 3 kills and a tower, and that concludes the final game, ladies and gentlemen. What a series! We all were saying what Sunichi magic coming through. You know what? It was 1-1, 3-1, and now 3-4 coming in for Watsunishi, making that insane comeback from Watsunishi. What do you think of this? Since this
Wow.
is so far, I think I don't think it's gonna get any better in the EU. I think this is the best series we can get here, is in the C
This
region.
is this is the craziness. I mean, this is putting Europe on blast because this is saying we just had like an amazing show. You guys better step up. Now, I want to talk a
Yeah,
little bit about the game. I mean, Mia against Sora, I didn't expect Sora. I didn't expect Watsunishi to do what he did there with Sora. I mean, he took the game to Mia and said, "I'm so powerful, because of the farm and the snowball, that I'm gonna put the pressure on you and see what you have to do, and I'm not gonna try to choke this time. I'm not gonna throw this time." So crazy. I mean, crazy.
that's
God
just crazy.
damn.
One of the craziest series I've ever casted, and what
In
a
a one v
comeback!
one, definitely. This is when it when it comes to 1v1 hockey. This is probably
Yeah,
the best that we're gonna see. I mean, how do you beat this? I mean, let's be honest. We've seen everything. We've seen the crazy plays. We've seen the crazy outplays. We've seen the magic being pulled from that wind talker. Like, wow, my brain.
I gotta say, congratulations to Watsunishi, but also
Yeah,
give a shout out to
congratulations.
Season. Both of them did
Yeah,
exceptionally well. One of the best 1v1 I have ever seen in my entire life, to be
yeah.
fair. And also thank you to
And
Sin, thank you to everyone, to Bordy that is sharing the screen, thank you to Z, who we are
mm,
going to see soon, not now. And thank you for a lot of the staff in the background working so hard for this. And what else do we have to say? Say it, Sin. Come on.
oftentimes when we look at this tournament, right, we're enjoying the show and we're taking for granted that these are two players that's finalists and they've been fighting for against tons and tons of other players who wants to win as well. So this is a really, a great show. Like when we say we give shout out to these players, we give shout out because they train so hard and they pull out the gameplay that we don't really see before. So even as
Mhm.
casters, honestly, I'm enjoying the show. It's
Yeah.
not the usual 5v5, and I've seen, I've casted the biggest tournament, U2 in Europe, but honestly, no bullshit. We're enjoying this because this is
Yeah.
crazy. This is crazy. So so it's a combination. Last thing I want to finish on, at least if I have something else, is just I want to give the respect to the players, to all players who sign up, because it's not easy when you're playing against tons and tons of players who wants to win as well. But also just want to give the respect to now Watsunishi. Congratulations. I don't know what you're gonna do with diamonds, but if you don't know what you're gonna do, you might send me a Starlight card or something, or bless someone in the chat. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But other than that, want to give the shout out. I know that C's gonna talk a little bit more after this. Want to give a shout out to everyone, Bordy streaming this, Z also here giving great input, Spade in the background, a lot of tons of staff being great, and also just want to say from my end, sorry for technical issues. My Wi-Fi is not the best, so even though you guys think
It's
it's the
fine.
stream, it is
It's
actually I think a little bit combination between my Wi-Fi and that so on. But thank you guys. We're just gonna be better from here. So thank you.
Hey, thank you to everyone, and let's take it back to Z as he finishes it. Thank you for everyone, and
Mm.
we will see you for the EU region. Take it back to Z.
Okay, and that is a wrap for our final match. We have witnessed some incredible outplays, insane mechanical skill, and true competitive spirit of the Challengers Cup today. A massive, massive congratulations to your champion, Watsunishi. You have dominated the competition and earned the title. Let's give a huge applause to our runner-up, Sujin W, for incredible performance that pushed our champion to the limit. Thank you everyone who tuned in to our productive chat, to our amazing casters, Cynthia and Hockey, and to the team behind the scenes, Bordy, and our EFs. I've been your host, Z, for the Challenger Cup 1v1. We'll see you at the next one. Stay legendary. Thank you.